Woof woof, Chili Pepper Dog, welcoming you to Chapter 6 of this series on staff fighting. Today we're talking about why size matters, or, in my continuing assault on alliteration, the stick-to-staff spectrum. We've mentioned several times previously the big crossover between wielding a stick or a staff, but where do the differences come from and why? There's a big trade-off between the stick and the staff. One gains speed and dominates at close range, and the other gets reach and power. Here are the tools I'll be using for this video. I'll save the boring stuff like the dimensions for the end. We've got a regular stick, a Krabi stick, a hiking stick, a short staff, and a long staff. The benefit here is knowing what your weapon is capable of. Wielding a stick two-handed is awkward, but doing so with a staff is pretty much mandatory. In between these two poles, there's a lot of possible variation, one or two hands, and narrow or wide grips. The key to it all is the second hand. As the length increases and the center of balance moves further out, you need a fulcrum to match. The starting point is, of course, the stick. One hand is all that's needed, and two hands will actually restrict your ability to swing it properly. The Krabi stick is based on the length of the Tai Dab sword. The choked up grip is a reflection of the extra long hilt on the sword. This length is still awkward for two hands. Unless you have the unequal weight distribution like with a baseball bat, the balance still puts this in the one-handed category. Holding it at the far end provides great reach, but might be a bit slow to be effective. Hiking stick length is where we come to the stage where two-handed grips become comfortable. You can get away with the occasional one-handed swing, but there's not much control with it. The center of balance dictates a narrow grip. There just isn't enough mass out front to make a wide grip practical for hitting with real power. As the staff gets longer and the center of balance shifts further forward, so does the need to advance the front hand. The space between your hands is dictated by the size of the staff, thus why size matters. Too wide a grip is just clumsy with this staff. That said, when you move on to a bigger staff, the grip needs to adjust. Here's an important point. The widest grip I can recommend is the length of your arm. This allows for maximum control of a large staff plus long reach. At this point, you can still maneuver the staff to the forehand and backhand positions. Longer than that, and you have to keep moving the puño or butt end around to avoid hitting your own ribs. Controlling a long and heavy staff also involves keeping the arms closer to the torso and depending on the strength of the hips and core to move things around. There are methods to use a stick two-handed, just as there are ways to use a staff single-handed. It might not be a primary method, but there are moments where you can make it work. I wouldn't recommend this though. A big staff held in the middle just equates to wielding two heavy and very clumsy sticks. As promised, I've saved the boring stuff for the end. The stick is 70 centimeters or 27 inches. The Krabi stick is 90 centimeters or 35 inches. The hiking stick at 107 centimeters or 42 inches. The staff at 147 centimeters or 58 inches. And this is made of Chinese waxwood, as opposed to the rest, which are made of rattan. And the big staff at 183 centimeters or 6 feet. Thanks as always for watching. Next chapter, we'll talk about generating power. Alexa, play Wipeout.